My name is David Marshall. I'm Historic Buildings and Business Development Manager at Mount Edgcumbe House and Country Park.
Thank you, David, very much for taking the time to allow me to interview for the Skill Tour project. I have a few questions to go through with you. The first one would be, and it's an open question, you have a very successful business.
Yes, we do. We've got a long way to go, but we've actually managed to develop in the last 3 years a business that's got a very solid basis. So we're very pleased with what we've managed to build so far.
Excellent. So your business is very frequented and well visited.
Yes, there are a few issues. We have around about 250,000 visitors a year, and they're coming to a house and country park, and most of them have got used to coming here free of charge. So the trick that we've got to overcome in the next couple of years is we've got to find a way of releasing some money from those people's pockets when they come and visit us. So that's what we're up to.
Excellent. So tell me, how did you and your colleagues develop this idea?
Well, it's been teamwork, and it's been rather an organic process, so it's grown, the ideas have grown. There are several different business streams here, so from conferencing to weddings to events to bringing in small businesses and medium-sized businesses to help rent some of the buildings on the park, all to contribute to the bottom line of maintaining what is 56 listed buildings, 10.5 miles of coastline, 70 kilometres of pathway, 12 acres of formal gardens, 5 ancient monuments, 3 triple SIs. It all takes money to do that, so each one of these income streams, if you like, is designed to contribute a little bit, not too much. We don't want to destroy what we have here, which is a very special part of the world, in trying to earn income. Excellent.
As you mentioned, it's a very large business and a very well recognised business within our area, within the region. So who works within this business? Volunteers, staff?
Right, so if you look at it from the outside, we have 2 park rangers, we have 3 gardeners, park manager, business development manager, administrator, and that's virtually it. There are actually 12 members of staff to cover 7 days a week, 365 days of the year. So a very small team. But then you peel back the surface and we've got a friends organisation that's almost 500 people strong. We have up to 60 volunteers. We work with European organisations bringing volunteers in from all over Europe to work with us. So it's a massive undertaking. People love it, and they will give their time to it because it's worthwhile.
Fantastic. So now we'll move on to yourself. What would you say are your skills for running this business?
I've been in the tourism industry for 30 years, and I've worked in virtually every sector of the tourism industry as well. I've worked in the private sector, the public sector, I've worked in the charitable sector, I've been in marketing, I've been in sales, I've been on the floor, I've been delivering customer service, I've been involved in quality standards, I've been involved in the background building businesses, and I've learnt over many years. I've been on lots of courses, of course, like everybody else, but I've learnt from colleagues along the way. So I've worked with some really good, top quality people. I've watched what they've been doing and I've stolen every idea.
So one of the questions I had was, how did you acquire these skills? So would you say it was through sharing experiences, sharing good practices? Sharing
good practice is very important. Training is very important. Discipline is very important. The idea of customer service and the idea of quality standards was actually imprinted in my soul when I first started working at Madame Tussauds, and that was something that we were trained to. But it's something I've carried through with me ever since that point, and there's all sorts of art and creativity that you can bring along with that as well. So, yeah.
So, as we've mentioned, Mount Edgcumbe House and Gardens and Country Park have a lot of visitors that come throughout the year. What do the visitors like most about coming here?
Oh, I should say that the most obvious thing is it's a Grade 1 listed landscape. It has an interaction with both river and sea. There are hidden coves, and it's the most pleasant place to visit. It's quiet, it's peaceful, it's secret, but it's also wonderful. It's got cafes and beaches and populated places as well. It's full of events and joy, so it's a place that people love.
Which or what activities do you offer to visitors?
We've got everything from off-road segways to disc golf to we've got working blacksmith and a weaver on site. We've got upcycled furniture companies. We have weddings here. We have conferencing. We've got a fantastic orangery restaurant down the bottom. There's a foreshore with, obviously we've got swimming and water sports. And then there is just the wider park itself, which is for people to interact with. We've got a herd of deer. Who knows how many there are? Probably far too many. And we are, of course, the home of the National Camellia Collection, and deer like eating camellias, so that's not a marriage made in heaven. But yeah, anything is possible here. There's lots and lots of various activities, and we're looking to bring a lot more in as well.
Excellent. So you yourself, did you participate in the design and setup of where Mount Edgcumbe and House and Country Park are now?
I think I've helped it along the way, definitely. I've helped to bring in new life, but the core story has always been there. So the Edgcumbe family, the history of the landscape, the extraordinary relationship between the landscape and the sea here, all of those things have always been. But we're bringing in new people to tell a new story in a new era, and hopefully pass all of that on to the next generation in a fit for state purpose. Fit for, no, that's not right.
Fit for purpose.
Fit for purpose state is one which we.
Did you get any help and support from anywhere?
Yes, we've had European funding. We had a major amount of money injected into the park in 2007-2008 to renovate the Barrow Centre area, which is where a lot of the new businesses have come in. And we've also got support from Cornwall Council and Plymouth City Council. Right,
so you've had national and European funding, but have you had support from the local community?
Yeah, well, very much so. As I mentioned earlier on, we've got over 60 volunteers that actually help this place live and breathe, and all our buggies that move people around the park. And after all, it's called Mount Edgcumbe, so there are some pretty steep hills there. They're all volunteers, so they're all part of the community. They all come in and help us deliver what it is that we have to deliver to the public, to keep them safe, give them a quality service and keep them happy.
Are you content with the financial situation at the present as a business?
Never. We're never content with that. We're always chasing new ideas to try and bring new life in. It's not about chasing the bottom dollar. It's not, because this place is, if we sweated every asset as hard as we could, we'd kill the golden goose. People come here because it's a peaceful, relaxed, beautiful place to visit. We don't want to ruin that, but we don't rest on our laurels, and there's a lot more to do.
So with regards to that, do you have plans for extending the business?
We do, very much so, yes. In a sympathetic way, but we are looking at making the buildings work a little bit more harmoniously together to be able to provide a really extraordinary conferencing, very different type of conferencing, and beautiful weddings, so yes.
So has your business, the business, grown within the last year or 2 years?
Yes, it has, yeah. We've brought online a new income stream in terms of holiday lets, so we're converting some of our buildings and making them future-proof, because obviously some of these buildings, the 56 listed structures, are falling down. So we've managed to work in partnership with people like English Heritage and Natural England to bring parts of the landscape and some of our buildings back to life. They'll look after themselves, but they'll also bring some income to us in terms of holiday letting.
Great. Just a couple of last questions. Are you aware at present of any training which would help you or your staff develop your business?
Do you know, I don't think I've had the time to really look above the parapet and have a look at that, and that's something I must do. I wish it were easier to find relevant training, but relevant training is really important, and I'm aware of that, so it's something I need to do, yeah.
And what would be, through this project we're looking at developing training. What would you say maybe would be the key points to factor in for the job that you're doing, with regards to what one part would be what training you could see that would be needed, and the other side of it, what could impact that training with regards to time, length of training?
Well, obviously the thing that's going to impact, we'll go on that side first, is availability. I mean, if you're running to catch up all the time, then you won't have enough time to go to training. I also believe that training should be divorced from the day-to-day business. So if you're going to be trained, you need to be taken out of that environment, not interrupted, not given the pressure or stress of your daytime worries. So you need to be removed from that. And in terms of what training do I personally require, I need it all, it's obvious. But possibly, I think everybody in this business should have a firm, solid grounding financially. So they should understand finances and how the business actually works. Everybody should understand quality standards and what it's about. Everybody should understand customer care and why it's fundamental. And everybody should understand about their visibility and reputation. So they need to understand the importance of those two words, and that's not necessarily talking about marketing, but they are very important words. Storytelling is key, by the way. Thought I'd get that in the end. Storytelling.
Storytelling.
Your stories are always the most important. That's the basis of what you are.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much for taking this time to allow me to interview, and good luck.
Thank you very much. Pleasure.